ahead, Cheddar. For YouTube, are you? No, just personal. No worries. Take care, mate. Have a good day. Yeah, you can have unregistered cars too.
eternity later. A few moments later. Oh no.
Not driving that home.
Ball joint snapped on the wheel. The part that. Oh, part of the wheel ball joint. Part that holds the wheel. Now he can't drive it. Yeah. A bit hard with the wheels.
I'll give me a chance to go back to the car and fix up my camera mounts. Just gotta get a screwdriver. It's moving on the selfie stick a bit. Pretty hot. I'm sweating like a pig. See how long I can last in the seat. I guess there's one mount I gotta tighten up. So you can buy ALF 102 octane racing fuel. Let's put this down. Oh, I'll use right now. I'm gonna have to take you off the selfie stick for a sec. Maybe. Just have a look over there for a sec. I'll look for the screwdriver. Yeah, I think. Loose as goose. Should be right now. We on. They probably just got to tow that car off. I'm going to get a drink too on here. Tow truck coming for him. It's about 35 degrees. Let's put the backpack back on. Take it over home, get this racing fuel. And got the fan going on the back of the extra one on the back of the live view just to keep it cool. Probably what you can hear. You can hear it. Race Fuels, champion of fuel supplies. 98 RON, E85 race blend, and Alf Race Fuel 102. Not sure if BP has 102. So you obviously put your money or tap your card and the amount you want. Sitting in the shade, drives behind it. Can charge electric over here too. Electric post. It's got an LED screen with strawberries and berries on the side of it. Another one bites, it does. That's why I won't be doing any drifting. What you're doing is tearing the shit out of your car. That's what these people do for fun. And a lot of them are just cars that do drifting on track days like these. So there you go. Pull the guard out too. Looks it. Yeah, whole guard stuffed. Who knows what else underneath. Whether it stuffs some of his bonnet up too. Yeah, dragging on with a trolley. Hey Glenn. Hey soft lips. No worries. I thought I'd come out here and have a look.
Get started, I'm like, oh shit,
There's a better view of the carnage from here. It's like a lost a ball joint or something, and the whole the wheels is out like that. Yeah. It's just fucking out. Hey, yeah, it's just sitting on the floor.
Like, the chassis's good.
It's funny,
The
right?
fucking ratios, mate. I'm doing first here.
Oh, really?
That's all I can
Yeah.
do.
Because
So
the one running here was like second. It's like, no,
Tell
fuck
me
it.
it's just clogging more every time.
Track's too sticky, I'm like struggling with it.
I think it's more sand.
Yeah, I know. I just, it's so weird, like,
Yeah.
just with that, like, extra barrier out here.
You don't go anywhere near it though.
Yeah, no, I need to go, like, deeper.
You need to go that way. I think you need to lunge it.
That's why I get the wall.
No, you just do
Before I
a,
even get it.
you just do a little one, and then it sends it out, and then you can flick it,
Yeah.
and then you're like on angle like that. You know,
The last one,
just push it. Right? Yeah, you'll.
I got a miss for it as well.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
Under
right.
load,
Yeah. Oh, were you just talking about maintenance?
I did them
What the fuck?
I did them like 2 months ago.
Something's wrong then.
Rich. How are you doing,
Well, it should be fine under load. It's just idling.
a little bit underweight. Yeah, mostly like.
But you know, for it to be running rich, like normally it is. Yeah.
So yeah, when I dropped it out,
Ooh.
at the same time.
Have you have a white
Yeah, no close loop.
No, I
No,
did.
no correction. Oh, do you have air temp correction?
I
surely
should do
be
because it
fast,
runs off. That's why.
What's the air temp like today?
I'm
50,
getting nearly 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it never does. It's
Oh my
usually-
god.
Oh, the toilet.
I think it got ripped out.
She's standing up
coming
though.
through here. Not gonna be cross on it.
Steve, the steering wheel
Yeah.
That's good. You have to send that to me. Did any of you get that?
You think the track's sticky?
Yeah. This is a me. It's last time I was like, the car was just slippery.
Yeah, and they were doing this entry as part of the course, like pretty much like this. On Saturday.
Like big entry.
For the course, yeah. So I was starting up there, down, and then it was, instead of just a straight thing, it was like a bit of a crossroad in the middle, so you had to go round, back here, and come back down.
Yeah.
But yeah, like 5 person
Yeah.
The guys are coming in like full sideways.
Yeah.
It's on lock, like crazy.
I'm gonna be good if I get rid of that, just like last mile.
I'm gonna come out near this one. Yeah, I wouldn't care on it.
don't do that. These walls don't move. They do. Pair of gloves, mate. We've got a whole window we're going to have to pick up out here. Oh, I'm not going to lie, I'm glad I wasn't coming. Harry has moved about.
Got hit so hard the fucking
My big phone was overheating, but the stream was still going. So that's what I mean about the live view. Oh, I think I got my content for the day. Bang! Just gotta be careful of the wires, hang on. Cool. Air conditioner on for you. Stream. Cool. It's cool. Yeah, I know, I got that much shit. I've seen enough drifting for one day. I don't think there'll be another accident like that. That was a pretty big rear quarter accident. If anyone didn't get it on film, I got it on film live. Okay, so just go to YouTube and you'll see it there. I'll mark it later on in the day when I finish the VOD, but it'll be there. Take care.
But still over 100 of them kidnapped, taken away from their loved ones a year on. And all of this was done by terrorists. All of this was done because they picked on innocent people. And some of the footage we saw then and some of the footage we weren't allowed to see because of horrendous nature of it, the insensitivity, the violation of people's dignity, their lives. This all happened a year ago. Early today, the day started with a candlelit.
Hear them all go, yay! Somebody got it.
For the victims. And we should not forget those victims. And yet, there's a sunset gathering that's occurring at a Sydney mosque, La Kemba. It's a big mosque. And of course, it's time to attract people who will normally come to the daily Salat Maghrib, which is the sunset prayers of the Islamic faith. And it may deteriorate. We hope not.
And there were guys that were just driven.
But the mere fact that some in our midst, in our society, have chosen today a public holiday in Sydney. I don't think it's one in Melbourne. A public holiday here in Queensland.
I'm not sure about the trip back, how the stream's going to go. So if it drops out, it drops out. Thanks everybody. If it does drop out, usually it starts another one, but I don't know about YouTube. It's been doing that lately too.
Are being manipulated.
So if it does do that, thanks everybody for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button.
PC brigade say. I mean, the Saudi Kefia
Just came out to have a look.
Unity, that's the
I'll probably come out and do that more often.
Mainly checked head towels.
It's pretty hot at the moment.
So they wear tea towels on their heads. Well, that's a thing that keeps the sun out, the sand out, and some people wrap it around their face if they're out in the desert. Other people wear it as a sign in Saudi Arabia of national unity. And yet it's been used by some of these terrorist supporters as some sort of statement that they're standing with Palestinians or Muslims or Gazans or whatever. No, they're not. They're standing with terrorists, and Saudi Arabians are not terrorists. In fact, they, in their country, along with Bahrain, and my understanding is Jordan, various Emirates, where planes fly out of Brisbane every day, into Abu Dhabi, into Dubai, they have in fact banned open displays of public support for Hamas, for Hezbollah, for the Houthis. And yet here in Australia, we're allowing it. We've got prime ministers and others who just don't know what to do. And as was reflected by somebody the other day, these snotty-nosed professional protesters. I think the example of everything that's going wrong in this country.
The next 5-6 kilometres
they're
or so.
out there, they're spinning yarns, they're misleading, offering all sorts of nonsensical, simplistic,
only standing 2 metres closer to the action.
faith of some description. We do. And the West believes in individuals.
Be alright in winter
the West
there.
believes that if you work hard,
Be a lot more
you
comfortable.
reward for effort, you're allowed to own
It's supposed to be half hot
because
with
the government
cars.
doesn't provide everything. That's what the West believes in. We're all about
So tough on the cars too.
teaching them the old way so they can pass it on to the next generation. That sort of stuff.
So BMW's like the dust. Yeah, I think I got an all BMW day next week. That's a sign.
That's kind of why it's germane important to the King's birthday weekend, because that's symbolic of the monarchy, the constitutional monarchy.
When you're into those events, you sign your personal effects away if they get damaged, basically.
And what's individuals'
No fault of theirs.
to take responsibility for what they say. And the left doesn't. It just simply says, conform to our views or else you're this. They come up with names. Misogynist, sexist, homophobic, all these names they throw at you because you might have a different view. This is crazy stuff. So that's what these protests mean today. These protests are not about supporting anything else other than the terrorists, the people trying to pull our country apart. Today we should, however,
I'll have to probably fix that barrier up before they start again.
on each other. We now
Just
have
push it back in
leaders
line.
to stand up for the country that's standing up for us. Israel is actually standing up for us. The Prime Minister isn't. He's not saying anything about it. He's so woeful on this stuff. Various state premiers aren't. I haven't heard anything from Stephen Miles. He wants you to vote for him in 20 days. I haven't heard anything from David Crisafulli either.
No worries, you do a pub run.
Let you know.
I don't drink.
Surely,
I thought of getting a couple today.
Public life, you should be
This afternoon taking home, but
those who are attacking us are being defended only right now, frankly, by Israel. I think we are stronger if we concentrate on what we have in common. There are those who just want to tear our society apart, so let's not let them do this. We can save Australia one family at a time. So to reflect on this monarch's birthday, the evil of Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, financed by Iran. And Iran can call our ambassador and ask for a please explain. I'll send a note to the ambassador and they can tell the Iranian government exactly what I'm saying. I think it's what a lot of people are saying. Those Australians who are supporting these terrorists are bringing great shame to us.
Camera up like that in such hot weather.
Fuel your adventures at Subaru's October event. Visit your Subaru retailer today. In Wonga Tambourine Oxford Road, Nissan Victor crashes lanes reduced in all directions. The Bruce Cyclist slowing back through Narimba. Nissan Victor crashes lanes reduced in all directions. The Bruce Cyclist slowing back through Narimba to Coochie Creek, and then again from Melinda to Burton Gary East. In and around the city, the Pacific Motorway through Wollongabba, the Riverside Expressway and Sydney are all clean and clear. And the M1 is a good run from Eagleby down to Helensvale. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jimmy Clark on 882.
Cage is a lot better there for the foam where the sun's
The
concerned and the
Subaru
heat.
Demonstrator event is
It's
on
more
now.
stable
Get
too.
a $750
And a suction cup on the
fuel card
window.
free across
Like a
select
sun clip it, take
demonstrator
it with me and
models.
stick it on the
T's
selfie
and C's
stick.
apply.
Or turn
Get ready,
upside down.
crafters and quilters. The Craft and Quilt Fair is
I was
on this
thinking about
weekend. The
mounting
Brisbane
another mount
Convention
under here
and
instead of
Exhibition
this.
Centre from Wednesday to Saturday.
There's all sorts of different
And
ways
you
I
can
can mount
immerse yourself
things.
in all things crafty. There are workshops every day covering everything from crochet to Christmas baubles.
Got a cage around
There's a
my
huge range of
mirrorless
stores
camera
with the
too.
latest patterns, products and demonstrations, and you can pick up specialist craft supplies, watch free seminars, be inspired by great guest artists, and of course see that incredible quilt show. Find your next project. Have a great day out at the Craft and Quilt Fair Wednesday till Saturday at the Brisbane Exhibition.
Let you down. They've got machines to meet your needs, ready to go right now. From scissors need to the job safely and at an affordable price. Call 1-800-HEIGHT or go to heightforhire.com.au. Height for Hire, safely taking you to new heights. Oh, you're just ripping me
I was recording on 8K and this, and that kept overheating. I didn't have the fan cooler plugged in. And I had the hotspot running at the same time off that, so that's why it was overheating. If it was night time, I could run that for 8 hours recording 8K and overheating. I just recently purchased a fan cooler, so some sort of refrigerator technology.
Lakes Hyundai at North Lakes is part of a family-owned and operated business for over 55 years. It's your one-stop shop for Hyundai, from sales to service. Come and see Joseph and Joe Camilleri today at Lakes Hyundai. We've got the north side covered.
Turn left towards Spring Hill, where a one-bed unit sold recently for $400,000. Then head further out to Logan Lee and get a 3-bed house for the same price. See recently sold prices on Domain. Know what we know.
Yeah, but who's living in Logan?
Okay, you can register for a free small assessment and next year.
King Charles' birthday holiday. As you heard Councillor Paul Tully's take earlier, Paul Tully, I think, told Sophie basically wants to turn into shrub day where we go and plant a few plants. Anyway, she said, I think there's a bit of disrespect there. So your thoughts on the subject were welcome. Well, I am a loyal subject of whoever is the king or queen. And, you know, I must say one of the things I do is I chair the Royal Commonwealth Society, so I have a, you know, fairly open view about all things Commonwealth of Nations. But he's on the throne, he's got my support, and long may he reign. Meanwhile, Nina says, Gary, regarding the commemoration of October 7, I think the way in which this day is remembered by Hamas supporters and the Jewish people tells you all you need to know about the kind of people behind each group. The Jewish ceremony had a string of instrumental performances. And of course, you know, it's very peaceful. Hamas supporters' protesters I saw are basically the opposite. And it's very telling, says Nina. Either way, this is not a day to appropriate. It is a time for us to commemorate, to think. It is. Mayor on the other week, we've said for some time, I think Queenslanders living on the north side are being drastically let down because there just isn't planning for critical in there. State governments have let us down. Basically, you build a housing estate and you jam it onto the Bruce Highway, that's the end of it. And yet we actually need a second Bruce Highway. We need more railway lines. We need those sorts of things. We're hearing nothing in this state election campaign. So you can imagine when my mind was at it, I saw today that where my mind is at rather, the new council commissioned report has revealed that the Moreton Bay LGA is being left far behind the likes of Ipswich, Logan and the Redlands on social housing. And let me tell you, I know Logan and Redlands are scrambling as well. So how bad is it in Moreton Bay? It's the same time that rates on homelessness up there have jumped by an enormous 250% in the last 2 years. And that's not without even mentioning the fact there's a tidal wave of people moving into other places to live. They're coming from other places to live in Moreton. Because the Bruce Highway is absolute rubbish, and yet they keep putting more pressure on it. The City of Moreton Bay Council feels like it's trying to dog paddle in a king tide. They're up against it. Division 1 Councillor Brooke Savage joins me. Great to talk to you, Councillor. The people of Moreton Bay have got our help, but, and no doubt yours, but you're being left high and dry right now, aren't you?
Hi Gary, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, look, there's no secret that we live in the third largest local government area in Australia, and of course I believe that it is the best local government.
Go for it, talk it up, it's a good idea.
but absolutely, we are facing a really significant shortage when it comes to investment from our state and federal colleagues in this beautiful part of our country.
And of course the Mayor, well, he's talking until he's blue in the face over the past few years because he wants to see the SEQ planning scheme and so forth really about that region, understanding there's need there. We had him on the other week and he said, you know, basically, you know, you build the traffic up on the Bruce Highway. The Bruce Highway doesn't work. It it doesn't work, and that's not the only road that you can rely upon. You need funding for housing, critical infrastructure, a whole lot more.
Absolutely, and you summarised it so well. The approach in the past has seemed to have been, proper housing development closely located to Bruce Highway and we're done, finished. In actual fact, that's not. The Bruce Highway's at capacity. We absolutely need an alternative, but we also need those east-west connections as well, because we know that housing developments are expanding east and west of the Bruce Highway. We need to get those connections right as well.
Yeah, so basically building a city about the size of Mackay in and around Caboolture and relying everyone to get on the same road. I mean, this is crazy. Now, both sides, both leaders, Stephen Miles and David Grissafulli, they've been in your part of the world, yesterday?
Yes.
I didn't see any big announcements that'll give you any joy.
No, look, there were no announcements for the City of Moreton Bay, and certainly none around these key issues that we've been talking about from yesterday, but we continue to lobby for these, we continue to advocate for them, we continue with your help, with the help of all of our residents, to make sure that our leaders know that Moreton Bay will not go quietly. We are a significant, we're a significant part of this country.
No doubt about it.
1 in 10. Yeah, we have 1 in 10 voters in Queensland live in the city of Moreton Bay.
1 in 10?
1 in 10. So when you think about what that means when we put our voice to action when we go to vote, that's a really significant number, and we need the Leader of the Opposition and the Leader of the Government to really be listening to the things that we're saying. And the Mayor has been speaking about this, the Deputy Mayor has been speaking about this, the councillors have been speaking about this. I'm excited because I really believe that they will listen. They have to listen, and I'm looking forward to seeing some announcements, because what other alternative is there? We know that this is needed, it's logical, it makes sense. I just say to them, come on, bring on these announcements, because these are not nice to have. We are talking about absolutely critical infrastructure. We're talking about critical social services. We're talking about the fact that people don't have roofs over their heads. And not just that, they can't even find temporary crisis accommodation. We deserve better, we need better, and I expect that we will hear that, because it's absolutely logical.
Because the problem is they just think, new suburbs, new builds, therefore new homeowners, social housing's just forgotten about. There are some people who want to rent, there's some people who want to buy, there's some people who might need a bit of public housing in the mix, and it's not unreasonable to at least have that planned in.
Spot on, and you mentioned earlier that increase in people living rough in Moreton Bay, 250% increase in referrals for people living rough in our city. We know that things can happen, situations change, and when people are at their most vulnerable, that's when we need government to step in and help them. And this is really basic governance. We need our government to listen to the fact that we need more social and affordable housing. We need crisis accommodation. We really welcome the announcement from the state government that if elected, they will bring in that outreach service. We're really excited about that. But there's still more work to be done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're also hearing, because it's a long weekend, we're hearing from Bribey locals in and around your division, as I understand it. The four-wheel drive traffic on the island beach is becoming a bit of a problem. What's the deal here, do you know?
Look, this is not a new problem that we've faced. This has been a growing situation on Bribey Island. We have the closest four-wheel drive beach to Brisbane. We also have this beautiful, beach. It's easily accessible. People want to come and visit, and on weekends just like this one, they're drawn there. It's hot, it's closed, but that beach is at capacity. It cannot take the numbers of four-wheel drives that's driving up it every day, particularly when those high tide times fall around peak travel time. There's no beach to drive on. People are being forced to drive closer and up onto the dunes in some situations. It's so damaging for that beautiful environment, and there has to be some change there.
All right, so that's the sort of stuff you're seeing and hearing. I've got to appreciate that, Councillor. I mean, let's face it, things might change after a federal election if one of your local federal MPs actually becomes the PM of Australia. But all eyes are going to be on the city of Moreton Bay, because there's a lot going on in your region for a lot of reasons, from Bribey through to Caboolture, through all of that area, through Redcliffe. And there's some marvellous high-growth there, and it needs better planning, better facilities, more facilities. Simple as that, I reckon.
Absolutely. We deserve better. The 1 in 10 voters that call the City of Moreton Bay home deserve to have access to roads that function, to social services and infrastructure. We deserve to get our share, and right now we're not getting it, and we will not stop talking about that until after this election, when our voters will be able to have their say.
Yeah, well, you know, we're going to be still here on the 28th of October. Happy to talk to you anytime at all. Good to talk to you. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Brooke Savage from Moreton Bay, City of Moreton Bay. It's a big issue. High growth, not much planning. What the heck have these government people been doing for all these years? Frightening. 29 to 4. And Spotify is hard at work in the newsroom. Can I steal a few thoughts? What's happening?
Good afternoon, Gary. Making news this hour. Tributes are growing outside of a resident's home, which was gutted by a fire yesterday morning, killing an 8-year-old girl. A search remains on the way for the missing babysitter. Southeast residents are being warned with severe thunderstorms on the radar. Large hailstones and damaging winds are expected to hit north of Woodford and west of Conondale over the next several hours. A Qantas plane has departed Sydney for Cyprus to bring home Australians from Lebanon. The flight will pick up more than 200 passengers and arrive in the city tomorrow night. And Qantas says it's investigating reports of an R-rated movie which contained graphic nudity and sexting being played on a flight from Sydney to Tokyo. In sport, Brisbane's Ali Brigginshaw and Tigers' Kenzie Apps will lead the Dilleroos, and Gary, I'll have what he's going for.
Traffic, Warner, Wynnum, Westlake, Woodridge, 4BC is Brisbane.
In Wongawallan, a minor accident on Tamborine Oxenford Road has cleared. The Bruce Highway slow going inbound through Merredon Plains to Coogin Creek, and then again from Caboolture to Burpengary East. The gateway is moving well in both directions through Gradgedale, in and around the city. The Pacific Motorway through Woolloongabba, the Riverside Expressway and the ICB are all clean and clear, and the M1's a good run from Eagleby down to Helensvale. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jimmy Clark on 882 4BC.
NRL AFL. So join us for Wide World of Sports tonight from 6 on 4BC. You work hard for your money, early mornings and long days. So wouldn't you like to know that you're working towards something? Go to cfmgcapital.com.au to see investment options that make your money work hard for you. CFMG Capital has a proud track record, returning 100% of capital invested with 100% of the published targeted returns. So whatever goals your future holds, CFMG Capital will help you get there. CFMG Capital, real people delivering real results. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. The investment does not represent a deposit and is subject to risk, including possible loss of capital. Prospective investors should carefully consider the BDS, SPDS and TMD of the investments on CFMG Capital's website before making any investments. CFMG Equity and Income Funds Limited, ACN 112753876, AFSL 291390.
Australia's favourite craft event is back this week. The Brisbane Craft and Quilt Fair is on Wednesday to Saturday at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre. It's the event made for crafters. Discover the best craft supplies for your next project from retailers around Australia. Learn in hands-on workshops and see incredible displays. Plus, you have to see the world-class quilt show while you're there. Running Wednesday to Saturday from 10 to 4. Tickets and information online at craftfair.com.au or buy at the door.
4BC Unpacked with Hearing Australia.
Why is it important to get our hearing checked regularly? Karen Hirschhausen from Hearing Australia has the answer.
Hearing is a vital part of how we stay connected in life, not just with the world around us, but with the people we love. Unfortunately, statistics show that people wait an average of 7 years before seeking help for their hearing loss. This delay can have a significant impact on hearing health and your overall well-being. Ideally, adults should have their hearing checked at least once every 3 years, starting at 50 or earlier if you notice any changes. At Hearing Australia, we make it easy to get started with a free 15-minute hearing check for adults. Take that first step towards better hearing today.
Hearing Australia has been voted the Reader's Digest #1 trusted hearing service provider in the country for the 4th year in a row. Register for your free 15-minute hearing check at hearing.com.au.
Keep listening for more 4BC Unpacked with Hearing Australia.
The Samsung AI product sale is now on. Save on TVs and appliances so smart we can write your shopping list, adjust our own settings, or even read this ad to you. Shop now at Samsung.com and participating retailers. T's and C's apply.
were at home at the time were unaccounted for. The fire was extinguished, and of course Queensland Fire and Emergency Services did an initial examination of the scheme, located the body of that little 8-year-old girl, and I feel for all the people in the school community who will have to deal with all of that tomorrow. A beautiful, bright-looking young girl she was. Following further examination this afternoon, the body of another person believed to be the missing 31-year-old woman was located. Now, scientific examinations and post-mortems will take place to confirm the identities of the deceased. Investigations are, of course, continuing to determine the cause of the fire, and police appeal to anyone with relevant vision in this era of iPhones taking pictures to come forward. It's just an awful moment. My thoughts are with all who are directly affected, especially the first responders and the close family members. Look, it's a difficult day for a lot of people, and it is worthy of us putting a lot of attention on this. October 7 will remain an incredibly sombre day. People all around the world, particularly those of Jewish faith, Israeli ethnicity, will be feeling this. But I think all decent people will feel it. And as I said a half an hour ago, Israel is today fighting a war against those who want to destroy the West. And we should support them in every possible way, every utterance, because it is that serious. And if anybody thinks I'm being too clinical, too cynical, whatever, sorry, it is a very simple thing to work out. They came, they murdered, it was atrocious. They stole lives and stole people, stole opportunities, everything about it. It's cold blood, unjustified. Almost 1,200 innocent people. And it is unfair to pin it on all people in Gaza. It's unfair to pin it on all Palestinians. It is, however, terrorists at work. It's as simple as that. I believe it was an event in history which has changed the world in so many ways. So many yet around the world want to protest in favour of the terrorists. It's awful. I don't think we should see it as relentless and violent war now between the terrorists and us. Israel is at the forefront of all of this. Hamas, its supporters in Lebanon, like the terror organisation Hezbollah, what they've done with the Houthis, all being financed by Iran. The latest state of play on this is a new round of airstrikes have hit Beirut overnight. Same time, Israel intensified bombings of parts of Gaza. Israel is also currently threatening to soon bomb Iran in retaliation for that nation's missile attack on Tel Aviv last week. Now in Australia, more than 15,000 pro-Palestinian, I think it's unfair to call them pro-Palestinian, but that's what they call themselves, these protesters, these pro-terrorist supporters, have marched in Sydney and Melbourne yesterday brandishing Hezbollah-aligned insignia. It's an open display of support for these terrorists. I mean, it's despicable. It should be widely condemned. Any decent person would. Instead, executive of the Executive Council of Australian Jury, and he joins me on. Alex, thanks for your time. Difficult on the hard day, but it's a day we should never, ever forget. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you for your work and for your support. That's right. It's something that we still really can't believe, a year on that we lived through this, that we've done those things. Thinking back to that day and seeing the images come through slowly, the numbers rising, what began, what we thought was just another terrorist attack, and then we saw that it was on something of a totally unprecedented scale in Israel, and we saw footage of abductions, of the attack on the dance festival, of people being dragged into Gaza, children being ripped from the arms of their parents, the accounts of first responders of finding mutilated bodies, piles of corpses, families burnt alive, horrible sexual torture. These are things that belong to such medieval times of barbarism that we thought they could never happen again. And watching it, it was like being
who are Muslim, a lot of friends who have different views maybe to me on the way things may or may not play out in the question about Palestine and Gaza. I don't know how a two-state solution can work when you've got this sort of horrendous stuff going on, but equally, the few people of Jewish faith, and you're a minority in Australia, a very, very small number of people. Worldwide, you're a small number of people. I've seen enormous efforts being made by Jewish Australians to work with Muslim Australians during tough times, and most of my Muslim mates are horrified by this because of one reason. Islam prides itself on being a religion of peace. These people have hijacked that religion for the politics of hate against the West.
And one of the most shocking aspects of these horrors, and when you watch the footage, the body cam footage taken by Hamas fighters of these atrocities, firstly, the sheer joy of the fighters. This was the greatest day of their life. And I say fighters, 6,000 Palestinians crossed from Gaza on that day to carry out these attacks. 4,000 of them were Hamas fighters and 2,000 of the civilians were told on their heels. So, you know, this was a mix of militants and ordinary civilians that participated in this. And the fact that they were carrying out these atrocities, you know, beheading workers with shovels, raping, looting, plundering, destroying lives and livelihoods, and shouting the name of God, praising God in the process. It is the greatest affront to any faith, to any religion. And one would think, one would hope that moderate Muslims would come out and say, this is a distortion of Islam, this is not what our faith is. But sadly, too many have been quiet. I mean, a lot of Muslim leaders with which we've had good relations over the years and worked together on certain policy areas that we agree on, they've either been silent or completely complicit in this. They've defended it. There's been a great sense of betrayal.
I can understand that. The hurt is deep. It is wide as well. But, you know, the rest of us, people like me, raised a Christian who understands, you know, like you do, about, you know, God creating heaven and earth in 6 days. We understand that. We all subscribe to similar sort of core beliefs about many things, most things, just about everything. The inhumanity of it all. Let's cut religion out of it for a moment. The inhumanity of it, celebrating the slaughter, makes zero sense to me. It is just a hostility we do not need in Australia. We don't need anywhere in the world, and yet that's what we're suffering. That's what we're suffering from now. This is a fight against terrorists who hate our society.
Indeed, and even if one supports the Palestinian cause and supports the notion of a two-state solution in the Palestinian state, which I personally do support, October 7th set that back so badly. It projected the Palestinian cause in the most violent, inhuman light imaginable. So anyone who actually cares for the future of the Palestinians, anyone who cares for the future of peace and the two-state solution and whatever teetering prospects there are of that, they should have been the first to oppose what happened on October 7th. Anyone would have realized that with an attack of that scale and barbarism, and with more than 250 people, including babies and the elderly and Holocaust survivors and women who are still being held, taken hostage, of course Israel would mount a strong, powerful, determined military response. Any country would. And anyone would know that the Palestinian civilians will suffer from that, because you have a force in Gaza which fights from tunnels underground, protects itself, while the civilians are above ground. So people who are concerned for the Palestinians should have been the first to line up in protest against what Hamas did. But sadly, things are so polarized and people are so blinkered in their view of things. They've been described that Israel is the embodiment of evil. And they haven't been able to reconcile that with what Hamas has done, which is just inhuman.
Democracies don't start wars, they finish them, they end them, they stop them. You've written an amazing column today, and you've explained the importance of never forgetting the names of the 1,196 Israelis.
Check out how much fuel is down here.
That's
whether I get it or not.
Nationals
Still the
from other
same
countries
price.
as well, but horrifically,
62 or 3 or something like that.
October 7 last year.
Another $1.99.
Some of those stories.
Yeah, look, I was in the south of Israel about 2 months after the horrors, and I had the fortune of meeting some survivors. Some of the most incredible human beings that I've ever met in my life. You know, I met 19-year-old kids who took up arms when they saw that their villages were being besieged and attacked in that way, who single-handedly fought off half a dozen Hamas fighters and saved countless lives. I met the sister of an Australian woman, Dalit Carboni, who moved from Australia to Israel many years ago, set up a life there. She worked as a librarian in the village, and she was cowering in her safe room. Hamas fighters came in and shot her to death. And, you know, I met her family and I heard about what she was like, and it was just so horrific just to see the lives and, you know, to walk through the field, the scene of the Nova Massacre, the dance party there. And just to imagine, I mean, I've been in my younger days, I've been to some dance parties, and people are just enjoying themselves, and to think that at 6:30 in the morning, scores of Hamas terrorists with hang gliders dropped and descended onto that dance festival and murdered more than 400 people, dragged girls off and raped them against trees, dragged people off to captivity. I mean, we saw things that belonged to the days of the Holocaust, of Jews cowering behind trees, begging for their lives, and being executed in cold blood. It's just so unbelievable. And the fact that there are people in our country who deny that this happened, who revel in what happened, it's just, I mean, you spoke out about building bridges and alliances and communities coming together. I'm all for that, but there are times when it just seems an impossibility, when people can't agree on the basic inhumanity of mass rape and torture and abduction. There's really a huge gulf to be bridged there.
Well, there is. I mean, in the Australian context, I've been very critical, publicly, loudly, of the Prime Minister's inability to actually mouth some words, the Foreign Minister, to actually understand where we should stand on these things. Peter Dunn. We're not seeing the instinctive moral leadership we should be seeing about this stuff. It seems to be all politically based kind of leadership we're hearing out of the Prime Minister. That's my take anyway.
Well, look, if we review the year from the government point of view, I think there's been a lot of good stuff that the government has done, and state governments have done it, particularly in my state of New South Wales, where Chris Minns has been exemplary. You know, the Prime Minister just a couple of days ago was talking about these pro-Palestinian anti-Israel rallies planned for today, and saying that they would be provocative and really condemning the notion of having these rallies on that day. So, you know, he should be commended for that. I think the appointment of the Special Envoy to combat anti-Semitism was a good move. You know, he's defended Israel's right to defend itself, which has been, again, I think it's the correct thing to do. But again, everything's been balanced with statements about civilian casualties and statements about Palestinian nationhood and statehood. And it's a generational battle, civilizational battle, where on the one side you have the enemies not only of Israel. I mean, our country prescribes Hamas and Hezbollah as terrorist organizations, not as a favor to Israel. It's because they are contrary to our interests and our values and our norms in this country. And no one's asking Australians to fight, but at least stand by our allies when they're doing the fighting. When young Israelis are in tunnels and in booby-trapped alleys fighting for their lives against this evil, at least show some support for these people. I mean, that's what's been really disappointing. You know, with messages in the moral ambivalence.
Yeah, that's basically a very, very generous and correct assessment. So, look, we're a year on. How do you see this? I don't like to use the term, but where do you think ultimately this is going to go? Because we've all been raised hearing about battles in the broad region, but this is now bringing things really to a head, isn't it? I think that's what I reckon.
Look, Gary, I'm still an optimist perennially, you know, despite everything that's happened. And we realise that the biggest obstacle to any notion of regional peace is having these terrorist forces embedded on Israel's borders. Hezbollah sitting right there on Israel's northern border, Hamas in the south, and it's become abundantly clear that there can never be any notion of peace in two states and regional harmony when those groups hold sway in large territory. And so my hope is that Hamas is completely dismantled and never govern a piece of territory again, that a more peaceful, forward-looking leadership emerges in Gaza. The conditions many to reach out to us, this institution of support. We really mean so much to it, so thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Alex Rifchin.
We really mean so much to it, so thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Alex Rifchin, he's the co-chief executive of the Executive Council of Australian Jury. It's got to be talked about. You can't forget this. You can't. It's awful. 133 882 84.
Traffic for ABS Business Sales. We sell business. That's what we do.
Reports of Green, Grassdale Road, and on the Bruce Highway, once you clear Meriden Plains, it's a more relaxed trip to Caboolture or Seabury down to Turpin East. The gateway's moving well in both directions through Rochdale. The M1's untravelled from the Centenary Highway through Jindalee. For traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jimmy Clark, 882 4BC.
You won't have to sit in traffic ever again if you retire. Talk to ABS Business Sales about selling your business today. absbusinesssales.com.au.
Experience the evolution of motion with Cherry Emotive 5, with intuitive controls for expression and advanced safety protection. For a limited time, enjoy $3,000 cashback across selected Emotive 5 models. Test drive today. Cherry North Lakes has the north side covered.
You're only a what if away from slipping into a deck chair at a heavenly hotel pool.
Yeah. Jumping onto a jet ski or a paddleboard or any of these.
Sliding into cocktail hour at that swanky resort. Waiter!
Stepping onto the deck of a fishing boat with an esky. Hey, boys.
You're only a what if away from the perfect summer holiday. Book it all on the What If app.
We're jumping into this!
What if it's Aussie for travel?
Hi, Rodney Jane here. At Bob Jane T-Marts, we're the specialists in wheels and tyres. This month, we've got Bridgestone free, Yokohama free, Kumo free. How? Simply buy 3 and the 4th tyres free. Plus, up to $200 instant cashback on select.
To relax and embrace the lazy moments, you could win a $2,000 Lazy Boy gift card. It'd be lazy not to enter. Do it now at 4bc.com.au. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
My name's Rebecca. I was a nurse. I loved my job and I loved helping people. That's until the LNP's Campbell Newley sacked me and sacked 14,000 public servants across the state. Now Chris Foley wants to be Premier. He said he wouldn't sack public servants like me last time, but he sacked 14,000. He lied last time, and he's lying again. My advice, cut Chris Foley before he cuts you.
Authorised by Keith Landers, Australian Labour Party, South Brisbane.
Europe is now on sale at Inspiring Vacations. Australia's leading tour operator has taken up to 15% off selected tour, rail, cruise and flight packages to Europe's most popular destinations. Europe now on sale at inspiringvacations.com. T's and C's apply. Sale ends October 12.
There's a loveless landslide that's going to happen. We'll talk about that a bit more next hour. Traffic to 4BC.
Download the 4BC app to your smartphone or stream on your PC. 4bc.com.au.
Hey you, thinking of taking the next step in your career? Looking to upskill or stand out from the crowd? We see you making that happen with a postgrad degree from CQ Uni. Search Postgrad CQU today.
At Publicis Sapient, digital is in our DNA. For 30 years, we've helped the world's largest organizations digitally transform. Knowing that real value is unlocked through tech and data. Knowing that change is only as good as the impact it creates. Knowing that true partnership is what makes it all possible. Because we're Publicis Sapient. It's what
If you consider yourself a bit of an adventurer, then I've got some exciting news. Brisbane Caravan Warehouse has made an impressive bulk deal with Franklin Caravans. And right now you can save thousands on a brand new Franklin Caravan. We're talking dual solar panel power, a shower and toilet, double fridge, freezer and even a washing machine. All built on Franklin Caravans made this Aussie-made tandem axle chassis. And the best part, well, new vans start from just under 70,000. That's right, under 70,000. 10,000 drive away. Franklin Caravans have been building quality caravans in Australia since 1948. So if you're ready for your next adventure, swing by Brisbane Caravan Warehouse right across from Bunnings, Brendale.
Australia, it's time to check the national 3G network is closing. When it's gone, devices that keep you safe and connected may no longer work. Visit 3gclosure.com.au and act before the 28th of October.
If you're ashamed of your broken or missing teeth, you can be proud of your next smile. The All-on-4 protocol, administered by specialist prosthodontist Tony Rotondo, may be an option, even if you've been told you're not a candidate for dental implants. Search Next Smile Brisbane, talk to your dentist about a referral, or simply call 1300 625 628 to arrange your personal consultation at Next Smile Brisbane. The All-on-4 The procedure carries risks. Before proceeding, you should obtain a second opinion from a suitably qualified health practitioner.
You're listening to Drive with Gary Hunt.
BC. Well, again, and plenty of having a... We're enjoying it here. We love being here, and it's a beautiful day, but we know we saw it earlier today. The island there, what's happening there, and in fact all of the shenanigans going on there. As we heard a little bit about this past hour, we'll talk about that and a whole lot more, and also talk to a former Australian ambassador to Israel.
News is next. When it comes to small business, Optus is all in.
Brisbane's 882 4BC.
In this bulletin, second body found following house fire, storms on the radar, and a $500 million health pledge. It's 4 o'clock good afternoon. I'm Siobhan Fay. The body of a missing 31-year-old has been located at a Redlands townhouse, which was gutted by a fire yesterday morning. 8-year-old Waven Contini additionally died in the blaze. At this stage, the inferno is not being treated as suspicious. Southeast residents are being warned with severe thunderstorms on the radar. The cell is moving in a northeasterly direction and is expected to hit Palmwoods, Nambour and Mapleton in the next 10 minutes. Large hailstones and damaging winds are expected. To the Middle East now, and close to 500 Australian citizens have left Lebanon in the face of intensifying conflict. A Qantas plane has departed Sydney for Cyprus to operate the first of 2 flights bringing them home. Senior Government Minister Bill Shorten is reiterating calls for citizens to leave the country if it's safe.
We are encouraging people to get whatever commercial flights they can, but the Australian Government's stood up a call centre to provide information. It is providing air evacuation where it's safe to do so.
A former government minister says more needs to be done to tackle the rise in anti-Semitism as the Jewish community pauses to mark the anniversary of the Hamas attacks on Israel. There are fears gatherings by pro-Palestinian groups tonight could create a flashpoint. Josh Frydenberg says people have a right to protest the actions of a foreign government, but there is no excuse for hateful or discriminatory behaviour.
You only have to see many Israelis critical of their own government, and it is a fact that innocent lives have been lost in Gaza and, of course, lost in Israel. But that does not give a green light to the type of behaviour that we've seen in Australia.
Iran has summoned Australia's ambassador in Tehran over what it's calling a biased stance on the country's attack against Israel. Ian McConville has been called in to hear complaints about what Iranian officials say is Australia's silence on Israel's aggression in Gaza and Lebanon. The Department of Foreign Affairs says it makes no apologies for the views it's expressed, calling Iran's missile strikes a dangerous escalation. Back home now, and the opposition is pledging to drive down ambulance ramping and wait lists for elective surgery and specialists as part of a 3-phase plan. If the LNP wins the election, more Republican voters will vote towards the health industry. Meanwhile, Angus is to get ambulance ramping back to 28%.
Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.